All right, guys, we're back for another Dokkan battle video. So let's talk about the Halloween campaign. I think there's actually quite a bit to talk about. I want to focus on these EZAs, the potential of EZAs that could come during this celebration. The next, man, I would say the next month and a half is kind of like a pretty big unknown. So like going up until right around where we're probably going to get the Carnival LR, which would be so I mean, okay, dude, God, I wish okay. Carnival LR, which will probably be somewhere in this range, I think right here. So this is December 16th to 20th. We're going to get a Carnival LR somewhere in that range, right? The Christmas Carnival LR. In between now and then, there potentially could be a lot of like randomness, a lot of uncertainty about what we could be getting because of kind of the nature of global sync, and then also Dragon Ball Heroes ending. How could this affect like the Dragon Ball Hero celebration and stuff like that? You know, could we see a Part 2 LR in November for the first time ever? Maybe. I has there ever been a Summonable LR in November? I don't think so. So, I mean, we'll see, right? But the biggest thing we talk about is that in the celebration info, there is no EZA announcements. For the most part, they do this. It's been quite a while since we've had an EZA announced in the news. I mean, I'd have to go back and double check. I remember LR Gohan and Goten were announced in the news, right? I think so. But I mean, I'd need to go back and double check. But most of the time, they're kind of just revealed when they're about to come. I think we're probably gonna see an EZA this week right here. So whatever character we're potentially gonna land on, I think will be next week. And then there's a really good chance that Heroes is gonna actually be this week, which is a week earlier than usual. We'll know for sure on the night of the 3rd. Well, at least 3rd Eastern for me, because that is when the Heroes kind of like reveal is going to be, right? So, all right, there's that. Here, of course, is the post, Misaka's post, keeping us up to date with which characters are ready to EZA. Now, I mean, I'll repeat this. Right now, there is a current sort of pattern going on. Until it breaks, I'm going to assume it's in play. Which is that characters, major releases, Dokkan Fest exclusives, and summonable LRs do not EZA from the year until the Part 1 LRs of that year EZA. So I don't think any 2022 characters are in play to EZA until the LR Gods and LR Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta get their EZA. I mean, I think we could probably assume that Misaka agrees, considering 2022 is not even listed here. So, whatever major EZA we'll get this month, which we are definitely going to get one, is on right here. It's in this list. The character that is going to be getting an EZA is right here. Now, we could kind of pull up Lord Slug. I would say the chances are very high that it'll have some relation to Lord Slug, probably being on his leader skill. It could just be what would be a random one? Would probably be Angel Golden Frieza. That would be a horrible EZA right now because, I mean, I guess we could run him on Universal Survival Saga and stuff like that, but he's not like your typical Frieza that has big bad bosses and terrifying conquerors and categories and stuff like that. So Angel Golden Frieza would be horrible. If we take a look at the banner that dropped last night, this does give us a big clue. It, to me, seems to be BoJack. I think BoJack, the chances that he EZAs, you could write it down, I think, as like 99% or something like that. I think BoJack is who we're going to see get this EZA upcoming. So they did not give us, what they typically do with these celebrations is they'll have like a category banner, right? Like you would think they would even potentially have like a demonic power category banner, but they don't. It's odd. They always do that. And we don't have one of those right here. So I'm not super sure. Maybe that has to do with Heroes. But with the introduction of Pity, they've upgraded these feature banners to now 10 featured units, right? And I would just point out that for someone like me, this is bad because it's harder to pull the individual characters over a lot of stones. But I do think for low spenders or free-to-play players, just, you know, summoning up to that pity number to guaranteed get yourself a copy, this format is definitely better for those types of players. Because you could guarantee you're going to get the card rather than just dump stones endlessly in here and theoretically potentially get completely shafted, right? So with the extra 3 characters, I mean, that would probably be potentially like Bojack, Beerus, and maybe Cooler or Kale. Kale and Trunks being here are very weird, like kind of like random picks. Rose, this is the first time Rose has returned on JP. On Global, Rose has already returned before, but on JP, this is the first time Rose has been on a banner since his initial banner. Now, Bojack, by the way, would very likely be an elite EZA right now. We're starting to get a nice little core of some of these characters, right? These teams, yeah, wow, damn, dude. Bojack really hits on a lot of setups right now. Terrifying Conquerors, Inhuman Deeds, Space Traveling Warriors, Transformation Boost, Full Power. Look at this. Movie bosses, even tournament participants. Bojack is on a lot of teams, man. There's a reason. I totally would have been on board, by the way, with, like, you know, part 2 of the Worldwide Download Celebration having been LR Bojack and LR Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Like, they could have done that. It would have worked really well. And Bojack would be a crazy Dokkan Festellar, like a villain Dokkan Festellar, with the categories and links and shit like that he's got. I mean, to be fair, Coward sucks, and like Heraclan and Galactic Warriors are mostly worthless links as well, unless there's going to be multiple good Bojacks. But Big Bad Bosses, Thirst for Conquest, Fierce Battle. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, these two together is 40% attack and defense, right? Which Daddy Slug has got, by the way. So, I'm really excited, though, for Bojack, because remember, they keep the spirit of these characters. Dude, this is for real his passive? What? This is it? He is a 2020 character. Oh my god, dude. It's just, time flies. It's crazy, man. Just seeing it. Where's the rest of his kit, man? I'm looking for it. It's crazy. But you see, yeah, he's obviously going to get a lot more added to this. But they keep the spirit of these characters the same. This guy kind of has like the STR Cooler archetype, right? Like this character right here. They were, even when Bojack came out, he was very similar to what Cooler was, right? So I would really hope, give him upgraded support capabilities. So, I mean, if they really wanted to be nice to us, it would be like extreme class support would be crazy. Remember, Bojack is not a demonic power character. So like he's not going to be supporting that category or something like that. But maybe if you'd support, maybe add like movie bosses to it as well could be good, because that could hit Tech Broly. I would like for them to play into more of his support capabilities the most. We'll see what they'll do in terms of defensive mechanics. His active skills, pretty good. All of the 4 major fights that we've got, I mean, the active skill is going to hit in all of those fights for sure. That's definitely going to happen. In terms of what he's going to look like right here, so he's got that. He does have his additional, and then he does want some orbs. So considering he wants orbs, oh man, they could make him a Rainbow Orb Changer. That could be really good. Rainbow Orb Changers are always going to be super effective and always be a huge help. That would be handy. But this guy, in probably like a week's time, is probably going to be pretty crazy. And then, man, dude, like the movie bosses and these setups are going to be looking pretty nice. I don't think villains have ever been better in Dokkan than they are right now. Right now is the best that villains have ever been in Dokkan. Because they just nailed... Here's the thing. There's always going to be more superclass characters and villains. Duh. But it's just that they really can't afford to fumble too many villains because there's way less. Like, that's why, like, if they're like, oh my god, this Goku isn't that good, we'll survive. It's okay. right? We're going to get 50 more. But, like, when they fumble a lot of villains over and over and over, it gets kind of, oh, okay. But they hit so many in a row. Like, LR Turles was crazy. LR Janemba was crazy. The two Seminole LR Brolys were crazy. The EZA Tech LR Broly, really, really good, right? Like, they just keep hitting. Lord Slug is really good. They keep hitting a lot of these villains. And it's put villains in a pretty good spot right now. So hopefully we would see that. Another potential option here, I don't think we're going to see this, but I mean, if we look at this, the only other option that makes sense is Kid Gohan. Goku and Piccolo did, they put a little thing in the data accidentally that showed that they have plans to EZA sometime soon, but that was back in August, so we'll see with them. Remember, Kid Gohan is a demonic power character. That's the thing with Kid Gohan. He doesn't really, he doesn't really work that well on the team, but, I mean, his support is pretty crazy. This is one of my most anticipated EZAs because of this and because of how good his active is. The fact that he is guarding like this does make me wonder, like, I wonder if maybe they'll just give him damage reduction in his passive. He does have a shitty Heavenly Events category restriction, though, and they always play into the spirit of the unit with the kit like that, so we'll see. Remember, he is a stacker as well. This Kid Gohan could really be a very, very interesting unit to get an EZA. But BoJack, I think, is probably what we're going to see. Now, the other possibility is Giant Lord Slug. Remember, this is just a banner unit. Now would be the appropriate time, I think, to EZA this guy. I mean, this kind of core of the team right now is looking pretty good, right? Space Traveling Warriors, Movie Bosses, Inhuman Deeds, Terrifying Conquer, like that. Those sort of like teams and categories and big bad bosses like Link, like all this is in a good spot. So I think now would be fantastic for Giant Lord Slug to get his EZA. I don't know, like, would it just be him as a solo EZA? Is there other characters they can mix into it? There is, in terms of summonable units from the Lord Slug movie, it is just this and the Dokkan Fest Lord Slug. This is it. These are the only two summonable units from this movie. So there's a bunch of free-to-play characters from the movie, but they're the only two summonable units from the movie. So they couldn't really go in that direction. Wait. They could EZA this Gohan, couldn't they? This Gohan only got an awakening. He never got his EZA. Yeah. This is from the Cooler movie, but, I mean, it kind of... I mean, it's... Look at the new Gohan that just came out, right? Like, go ahead and tell me the differences between the Cooler movie and Lord Slug movie Gohans, right? There's none. So maybe they could EZA this Gohan at the same time? Remember, this guy got his awakening when Dokkan Fest Piccolo came out, yeah. Huh, okay. Yeah, maybe they could do, something like that. We'll see. Maybe they could, maybe they wouldn't. And then the last thing is Beerus. Beerus's inclusion on this banner. So they've now started really bringing back the old Dokkan Fest. For many years, old Dokkan Fests like this weren't on banners. Let's fact check that, shall we? So he's on Lord Slug's banner. The last, actual... So what we're looking for, not, these, ticket type banners. What is the last, new Dokkan Fest exclusive character banner he was on? Tech Beerus. That doesn't count. That doesn't count. That doesn't count. That's a Tanabata banner. That doesn't count. That's not what I'm talking about, yeah. That's an EZA banner. Wow. This is March of 2020. March of 2020. The last time Tech Beerus was on a new unit banner was when Physical Beerus came back. Remember, this banner got top grossing, by the way. And this guy, I think, is a huge part. Beerus was crazy, and Cooler was still insane. This was Cooler's first return, and this banner actually got top grossing. Yeah, okay, wow. So this is Tech Beerus's first, new unit banner since Physical Beerus. That was March 5th of 2020 or something like that is when that came out. So, okay. Maybe this guy could EZA. He is on Lord Slug's leader skill because this is a movie boss's character. It is impossible to tell what they would do with this guy. Because, I mean, this guy is so old. I remember his EZA was ridiculously good. His super attack effect is no good. So they're really going to have to make this passive quite crazy. I am not opposed to Beerus being really good right now. I'm kind of in the mood for like a really dominant like Carnival LR Beerus or like Dokkan Fest LR Beerus or something like that. Like I just seeing Beerus be just a decimator and sparking zero. We have so rarely had top tier Beeruses in Dokkan. I would love just best unit in the game Beerus dropping. Would be fire. I'm not saying that this guy would be, but I'm in the mood for that. So, all right. Keep in mind, this guy could super EZA. Will he? I don't know. I think that this would be a good super EZA. I still maintain that the Roshi celebration, I mean, besides in Kid Goku, not the Roshi celebration, the Tanabata. Tanabata did not need a super EZA. That celebration didn't. Like, the core, everything was fine. That one didn't. Roshi's celebration did need a super EZA, but didn't get one. I mean, there's many characters they could go to in order to give... Where's Lord Slug? There's many characters they go to. But remember, like, Physical Full Power Frieza is on this guy's team. So is Physical Kid Buu. And this is why, like, Super EZA mechanic, for a lot of people, it's, the 2015 character's good. But for me, I look at it as a villain savior mechanic. Because that's exactly what it's functioning as. Like, Full Power Frieza and Physical Kid Buu are major assets already to Slug's team. So, if they keep hitting these Super EZAs at least this reasonable level, Beerus potentially could be a fun option as well. I think Dokkan, they've upped power creep and shit like that like crazy, but they're giving us good enough EZAs that the power creep does not feel... It's not suffocating. Like, the Bulma fight came out, and already, I mean, I'm seeing people, oh, this is the fight, it's so easy. Yeah, well, I'm sure you guys would be saying the same thing when it happens day one. 10th anniversary, gonna be fun, kids. Alright, well, let me know what you guys think. Realistically, BoJack, I would say, is like 99.9% happening. Super EZA Tech Beerus, I think, is realistic, and I do think that this Lord Slug is realistic as well. I think these three as being EZA characters for the celebration could happen. Kid Gohan maybe could happen. I don't think so, but it would make sense. But I'd much rather... BoJack, I mean, of course, has got to be what they do. So, I mean, because Kid Gohan's not on a banner right now, but, I mean, yeah, whatever. I still felt like looking at this, I mean, he's the only other one that would have, like, a direct connection, unless they're going to go completely random, right, to the Lord Slug celebration. So, let me know what you guys think. What potential possible EZAs we could be seeing. Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.